I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
All right, so Steve, you will pay the price, said Senator Chuck Schumer back in 2020. Your take on that?
And this is the leader, one of the leaders of the party who condemns conservatives with regard to words mattering. To me, that was a green light. And I've got to tell you, folks, when we see this increase of violence, the Democrat Party has put conditions out there, expectations that nothing is going to be done to you, no matter what you do or how you do it. You're going to get picked up by the police and you're going to go home. I am astounded. The professor is absolutely right when it comes to protesting in front of justices' homes and trying to influence the courts. I'm astounded that no one was arrested when they protested in front of these homes. The President of the United States didn't come out early enough to say, hey, look, this is wrong. In fact, I don't even know if he's weighed in on this incident at this moment. But they set the stage for criminals to commit acts of violence. Thank God the judge wasn't hurt, but this may not be the end of it.
Yeah, and Thane, when we see that in the context that we have it now, where somebody's arrested with a gun, saying he wanted to kill a justice, is that actionable? I mean, I know it becomes a game in the courtroom, but is something like that, could you charge somebody like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, from what little I already know, it appears that there's clearly attempted murder. Apparently, some statement was made that was part of your report, that he wasn't just sort of wandering around. He knew where he was, and he knew he was there for a reason, and he gave us the reason why he wanted to influence the court in this particular way.
But I mean for Chuck Schumer. Yeah, I mean for Chuck Schumer.
Oh, well, remember, good question, Bob. Remember during the second impeachment trial, the question was incitement to violence. Did President Trump incite the January 6th mob? But unfortunately, President Trump said we should walk over and peacefully protest. What I think Senator Schumer said crosses a very different line, and I agree with my co-guest as well. It was sort of shocking. And remember, we've also heard Maxine Waters said, get in the faces of elected officials, right? These are very aggressive. This is not what James Madison and Alexander Hamilton thought about free assembly and free speech. Getting in people's faces, you will have a price to pay. That's clearly in language of incitement, and incitement is not protected under the First Amendment.
Yeah, you know, we're
Bob,
learning that. I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
May I add something?
Go ahead.
May I add one important factor?
Of course.
When we conduct investigations like this, we look for trigger points. What triggered the criminal to act? And boy, I'll tell you what, we may find out that some of these words that some of these politicians have been spewing out was the trigger.
Very interesting point. And actually, the suspect who was picked up outside of Kavanaugh's house will be in court at 3 p.m. So, Steve, I want to continue with you here. What do you think will come next for him? Or is this going to be something where he's sort of let off easy?
Well, I think because of the wide publicity and the fact that he admitted that he was there to kill the judge, I think they're going to hold him perhaps without bail. Perhaps if this was you or me or any other citizen, they'd probably let him go under the crime reform bills. But we're talking about a federal judge, a member of the U.S. Supreme Court. So to do anything other than to put him behind bars at this point is, again, sending a signal. Look, doesn't matter who you are or what you're going to do. We're just going to let you go until there's a court date. I don't think they have a choice but to take stern action at this time.
Yeah, you know, I hate to be the skeptic. I'll believe it when I see it. Nowadays, Steve, it seems like the soft on crime thing is pervasive everywhere. And we expect this at 3 o'clock, but Thane, I wouldn't be surprised if this is behind closed doors and we don't see it televised and we don't hear a whole lot about it off the bat. What do you think happens here, following up on Steve's comments?
Well, I don't know. You know, I'm wondering whether the Supreme Court is starting to think that they should finally release the Dobbs opinion out of Mississippi.
Right.
Because this keeping everyone in suspense probably isn't helping matters. In my reporting for Newsmax and for CBS, I keep saying normally a case like the abortion case, you won't see until the last day of the term, right before July 4th weekend. But I wonder whether some of this would be diffused if they simply release the decision, because again, we don't know what it says. We only know what the first draft leaked in February. And again, what I said before is something that I don't think is widely understood. The Supreme Court, even in the draft, isn't banning abortion. It doesn't have the authority to do that. It simply says the Constitution doesn't protect the right. But it doesn't mean that you can't have abortion. In fact, there will be many, many states that will strengthen their abortion laws. Now, I'm not saying that pro-life, pro-abortion enthusiasts should be thrilled with the case, but there's no banning of abortion. I have a feeling the guy with a gun thinks that's exactly what's happened.
Yes, and I think this happened in Maryland, right? So in Montgomery County.
Correct.
So in Maryland, I assume they're going to have a lot different regulations than Oklahoma and Texas. So, and for him not to be aware of that, I think you point that out. A very good point. Thank you very much, Thane Rosenbaum and Lieutenant Steve Rogers. Thank you, gentlemen.
Pleasure.
Thank you.